Today you go roller skiing in Seefeld in Austria. You're in the middle of the sports arena where in winter the world's top athletes compete for the world champion title. Now it's not winter and you're not fighting for the World Cup. It is a beautiful day in the middle of summer and you're ready to compete with yourself. With every time exercising you'll win, because you'll beat your past self and get better in shape every time you show up to train your muscles. Today you feel like an athlete. You put on your roller skis and start moving. Roller skiing is what many top athletes that compete in cross-country skiing in winter during summer to exercise. It's nearly the same movement, just with wheels on a paved track instead of skis on the snow. And here in the sports arena in Seefeld you find the perfect conditions to work on your body. Your training plan sets the focus on your booty today. And you know this training session will make your butt burn. But that will be at the end of the session. Now you move forward effortlessly, having a look around in the sports center. Right in front of you are the ski jumps, and you can't believe people are really going down there and jump. You cannot imagine what an effort it must be to go down there. You know of yourself that it costs overcoming to show up for your workouts sometimes, but it seems nothing compared to the effort of ski jumpers. You decide to imagine a ski jumper every time you can't find motivation for your sports. However, today you don't need motivation. You're bursting with energy, you're on your way to become your own top athlete, and you won already. You showed up and won't regret it. You pass a short tunnel that leads out the arena right onto the track that is totally designed for roller skis. Right at the beginning the path goes downhill and you are confronted with one of the biggest challenges when roller skiing: braking. You don't know the track yet and therefore it requires your full focus, performing the movements very accurately. You move your leg from side to side, squeezing your booty as much as possible at the top to keep tension and slow down the roller skis. Wow, you did well. That was athlete-like. You made it down the hill safe and controlled thanks to your great leg work and squeezing of your butt. Time for a big breath. Well, you don't stop moving, you have to keep your booty squeezed, but you mastered one of the hardest parts very well right at the beginning, and I'm very proud of yourself, for good reason. Since all your focus and attention was required to master this first part of the track, you couldn't really enjoy your surroundings until now. Your good work increased your confidence and so you lift your head that it was until now solely focused on the track and look around. What a beautiful place to get your training done, you think. You couldn't imagine a better place to be right now. Moving forward on the roller skis, contemplating the wide green meadows, mountains at the background, the blue sky, and breathing in a wonderful fresh mountain air. The track soon takes a right turn and offers even better views on the mountains. You're right at the border of Austria to Germany, at the foothills of the Alps. It doesn't really make the impression, but you're at a height of nearly 1,200 meters. Because Seefeld is on a beautiful sunny high plateau, high above Innsbruck, the capital of the state of Tyrol. The track is slightly going up now, but the view ahead of you is magically pulling you towards it, making you forget you're working out. What a great routine, you think. The track is a circular round and offers views in every direction. First the trees, then the meadows and mountains, and now, having completed about 2/3 of the first lap, you can see the big ski jumps in the distance again. That's your starting and end point of one round. When you're there, you'll change leg, but until you're there, you won't stop moving your right leg. You made quite some progress, and towards the end it'll get intense. Ahead of you is quite a steep hill that will bring you back to the sports arena. But to get there you'll need to climb the hill. That will require very powerful pushes with your booty and leg. You try to get as much momentum as possible right now, as the path is slightly inclining downhill. The more speed you pick up now, the easier it will be climbing the hill. You got pretty fast, but get slowed down a lot by the inclination, which is higher than you thought. Now you have to put it all in. It's the final part of the first lap, the last 40 seconds to train your glutes on the right side. It's the most important part. To keep squeezing your booty now is what will make the difference. To keep moving when it's the hardest, when you start fighting, is when you have to keep going. That will make your muscles grow and your booty round. Your breathing gets harder, but you keep going. The top of the hill is within sight. Come on, you got this, you motivate yourself. I will not stop. I will not lower my leg. I got this. At the top you see kids and a coach practicing as well. They seem to be practicing shooting, which is part of the winter sports discipline biathlon, and you're grateful for the distraction that makes you forget the pain. There's one more right turn, and then your first lap is over. You did so well. Half of your training session is done. Now you put all your focus on your left side. Now you know the track, you know what you've got to do, and you will do great. One more round, and you could imagine worse things than another lap at this beautiful place. There are the ski jumps to your left again, reminding you what effort is, what it means to push yourself to the limits, and that you will go to your limits too. Knowing the route and its tricky parts, you want to beat the time of the first lap. Going faster means doing the movements with even more power, squeezing the muscles even more so you end up moving faster. There are a few parts of the track where you could make up time to beat the time of the first lap. One of them, probably the main one, are the downhill parts. You deliberately slowed down quite a lot as you didn't know the course of the track. But now you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. You know which turns to take and therefore decide to not break this time and go down the hill without slowing down and just turning. It does sound less exhausting than braking, but nevertheless you need to squeeze your booty, you remind yourself, while getting in a tuck position. You've kind of mixed feelings when you lift the tunnel and approach the downhill part. It's a little scary getting fast knowing it's nearly impossible to brake once you picked up speed, but also you're so excited to feel the airstream on your skin and experience the surge of adrenaline. And the first downhill section gives a little foretaste of the steeper one. You quickly decide that there's no need to be scared. You take a deep breath and just go for it. Woohoo! You scream out loud, full of adrenaline, so glad and proud you did it. You're even very tempted to go back up the hill to go down again. You got this adrenaline rush you were hoping for, and having picked up quite some speed, you remain in a tuck position until you're starting to lose momentum. This adrenaline works wonders, you think, as you start pushing again, effortlessly moving forward with your body, and your mind still thinking back to this downhill ride. But also right now you're going pretty fast. If you keep pace, you'll beat the time of the first lap easily, you think, while the green meadows fly by. Half of the second lap is done, you realize after you turned right. You know it's the hardest part coming now, especially the steep hill at the end, but it's also the part with the best views. Those mountains have something magical. They pull you towards them, making you forget you're working hard. No doubts it's getting exhausting now, but you try to occupy your mind with other thoughts. You're actually wondering that you haven't met anybody yet. You heard there are often people here roller skiing, but then you realize that you went extra early this morning to avoid the heat. First, that was a good idea as temperature's starting to rise, you think. And second, it gives you a good feeling. It's still so early in the day and you already achieved so much. Often you think that you need motivation to exercise, but most times it turns out that your motivation increases when doing sports. And no matter how the day develops, it won't be a bad day, because you did something for yourself already in the morning. Oftentimes the motivation you gain from working out carries you through the day. And right now, up this first hill. A little foretaste for the steep one that is still awaiting you. But you tackled the mountain once, and you'll do so the second time as well. You know you won't be able to enjoy surroundings later anymore, so you try to soak up as many impressions as possible now. There are tennis courts to your left that you didn't see on the first round, and there's a sign prohibiting everybody using this track except you using roller skis. You think that's funny, cause they must have designed those signs just for this place. Anyway, getting closer to the steep hill, you admire the mountains a little longer before you start to mentally prepare for the steep hill. It will be hard, it will burn, but you'll make it. You try to stop thinking and just go. Your butt is burning, but you're trying to embrace the pain, knowing that the hard work now will pay off later. You're nearly at the top of the hill. It's not the end yet, but the hardest part is done. And you're not alone. Also, the kids are still practicing. You watch them for a few seconds before the track turns right. From now, you can't see the imaginary finish line. You started right at the soccer field, and that's where you'll finish too. Don't stop now, you talk to yourself. One last time, squeeze your buoy, keep going. You will beat the time of the first lap, and you will win your own World Cup title. It didn't get easier, but you got better, and that's a big win. You made it. I'm impressed. That's moments we move for.